Hi everyone, I'm Arthur E. Benjamin with the gorgeous, talented Farrah White.
So nice.
And I want to welcome you back to For the Love of Dogs, where we bring you incredibly amazing animal stories, and today is no different.
No, it's certainly not. We're here with actually J.P. Bonnelly with the Republic of Dog, and he's going to tell us about a covert operation that they have where they help get dogs off the street. So welcome, JP. We're really happy to have you here.
Oh, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here. Very exciting.
And this operation, it's Duck Team 6?
That's the name of our rescue team. It's kind of a play off of SEAL Team 6, because we were trying to catch a dog, and it felt like we were on a secret mission, and we were sitting in the car, and one of our team members, Pat, says, we're like, I feel like we're SEAL Team 6 going in for an infiltration. And so she made a joke saying, well, we're more like ducks. And so it just kind of stuck.
So on these covert operations, how do you actually catch the dogs?
You know, every dog is different. I think the key is you go and make opportunities so that you can catch them. Bear was one way, you know, Nora was another way. Sometimes it's easy and I'm able to use like this leash and just go up to them and snatch them, or I've got a large animal net, looks like a giant butterfly net made to capture animals, or a catch pole. Sometimes we use traps, or we try and enclose them into a space where we can close them in and then wrangle them down, and just everybody's different.
But Bear took 4 months?
Bear took about 4 months, multiple trips down to Oak Cliff, and in the process we were able to save 10 other dogs. We would go down, try to catch him, and come back with somebody else. I think that was his whole plan, was to clean out his neighborhood. And finally, one day, with the help of a neighbor in the neighborhood, I was able to corner him in a garage, and I was able to put this on him and carry him out.
And he had a girlfriend too?
He had a girlfriend. We trapped her. She was one of the easy ones. We set the trap, and 5 minutes later, she's in the trap. I was like, oh, that was so easy. And usually you don't see the animals the dog going into the trap, but we just sat there and watched her, and she walked right in. And they freak out when that trap door hits, but we were able to calm her down, take her out, and then reset the trap for Bear, and reset it with some nice chicken. And a few minutes later, he went over and hiked his leg on it.
So this is Blackie, right?
This is Blackie.
Hey,
he's
Blackie.
My dog.
Come here.
Go say hi, dog.
Come here.
Go say hi.
Come here. So Blackie's your dog, and tell us his story.
A dear friend of mine found him down in Ennis when he was young. She would walk her dog kind of in the country, and saw him as a puppy, and kind of living in a yard of somebody who didn't really care for him. And she called and said, I've got to get this dog out of here. He's so sweet. And I said, I don't have a place for him. Let's see if we can find someone to foster. And she called me and said one day he disappeared for about a week. She hadn't seen him for a week. About a week later he came back, and he wasn't using this leg. If you look from his rear end, this leg's a lot less developed. And so we thought he got hit by a car, you know, a truck or something zooming down the dirt road. And after a couple x-rays, we noticed bullet fragments, and he'd been shot.
Oh, no.
So he still has the fragments. They're kind of like right in here, in his hip. And said, don't slow me down. Took him to a couple of consults, and they said we'd have to remove his leg and do all kinds of surgeries. And we did a second opinion, and he said, leave it alone. And we just worked on it, and he's probably 90% back to health with his leg, and goes to the dog park and runs and pounces and has a good old time.
Isn't it wonderful to save the ones that have these maladies like Bandit, my dog, and we can bring them back to full use or almost full use.
It's unbelievable.
It's great.
Just amazing how well they bounce back.
Well, they're beautiful. And now you have another one here, Nora.
Nora.
What's her story? Where's Nora?
There's Bean.
Hey, Nora.
Nora Bean. Hi, baby. You want?
Blackie, come here.
Yeah, try.
Okay.
Well,
Let Blackie go offset.
Yeah. All right. Nora, her mama. She's kind of skittish. Hey, Nora, you want to come up here with me? I'll bring her up here with me. And she was also one of those that took 4 months to catch.
Look at how they love him.
Yeah, she's been our house guest a couple of times. Hi, Beanie. Oh, hi. She was living down in Pleasant Grove on on an intersection, C.F. Hahn and Buckner. It's Nora. Yes, you know who she is.
Come here.
And we got a call from a friend whose name was Nora, and we went down there. It was the day after a big freeze last year, and I said, well, I'll go down there and see if she's okay, if she's still alive.
Aw.
And I drove up and looked at the field, and she was there in the middle of it, and laying down. I couldn't tell if she was moving, couldn't tell if she was breathing. I got out of the car, closed the door, still wasn't moving, and I thought she was dead.
Aw.
And she eventually popped her little head up and looked over at me, and that became the beginning of the pursuit.
Well, she's
So,
beautiful.
Isn't she cute?
She's very cute.
One of our duck team members, Rekka, was out there with me almost every time, and was there when we caught her and fostered her and recently adopted her.
Look at those eyes.
Yeah. Say, where's my mama?
Oh,
Where's
and now
Mama?
we also have, is it Levi and
We have
Levy? Levy and
Leonard
Cricket.
and Sheldon.
Oh, Sheldon. That's
They're
a
named
good
after
name.
the Big Bang Theory guys.
Nice.
That's
Look. Oh, they're
And
beautiful.
We thought they were
Okay.
found off the book.
Come here, Blackie.
Yeah, so here we go.
That's
He's like,
great.
I know these
Hi,
puppies.
everybody.
I know these puppies.
How sweet.
There's been another dog that we've been trying to catch for months named Levy. I'll call her Levy Mama Dog. And somebody called and said, she's got puppies and you need to go get her. So Rekka and I went to go get her. And it turns out that it was a different dog. And these were the only two surviving
You wanna go
puppies.
see Arthur?
And so you have Leonard.
This is Leonard.
This is Leonard. And then Sheldon Cooper is right here.
Look at that.
And now they're being fostered. Rekka's fostering. I still have Mama Dog at home.
So
Aw.
you also have this incredible talent in photography. How does that tie in with your rescues?
Well, I think it's just, kind of like what the name of your show is, For the Love of the Dog. It's a way for me to encompass stuff that I like doing with stuff that I love doing. And it started, I was taking pictures of the strays on the streets and posting pictures, and then we started doing like little studio shots, and everybody kind of started, oh, that's great. So it just kind of developed from there. And we've got a couple of good ones of little Leonard over there.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
So with as much experience as you have doing this, with as much love as these guys bring us, what would you really want to tell people about the strays they encounter on the streets?
I guess
How do they help?
sometimes strays, you'll see an article and they're portrayed as bad, broken animals, bad or broken dogs. They're not. They're like Bear and these guys, Nora spent 4 years on the streets, and you saw how sweet of a dog she is. And Bear, who probably spent several years on the streets, never knew a house. And you bring him into a house, give him time, a little love, and they become amazing dogs. So it's just give them a chance. Put forth a little effort, volunteer. If you can't volunteer, give money. If you can't give money, give services. Just get out there and do something to help them out. Everything helps.
In the end, it's all about reducing the population on the streets.
Yeah.
And not seeing these guys running around with
Yeah.
no place to go.
Yeah.
And being in homes that are loving. And yes, and letting them give their love to people.
Yeah.
How do we reduce the
It's
stray and the homeless
it's a
animal
big
population?
task. Responsible pet ownership, not letting your animals roam neighborhoods, getting them spayed or neutered. We have great programs in Dallas that help those who can't, let's say, necessarily afford the cost of a surgery. Through MAC, Metroplex Animal Coalition, the City of Dallas. It's realizing that there is a problem, because a lot of times we don't see it. And I'm a big believer of, out of sight, out of mind, where if the people don't see it happening, they don't know what's going on, then it can't make a difference. So I think it's just being responsible, taking care of your animals, your pets.
Yeah, but I think a lot of people are they want to help.
Yeah.
And they confront an animal on the street. You've seen it time and again. And so what's the best way to approach an animal? How do you get close to them? Do you get close to them? Who do you call? What do you do?
Yeah.
If you want to help,
Right.
you know,
It
you're driven to
depends.
help.
Yeah, and that's a great question. Sometimes when you get out of your car, you're going to know really quick if you're going to catch that dog or cat or whatever. Mine's dog, so I also keep saying dogs. You get out of the car, that dog's either going to shoot out of there or it's going to come up to you. If it's friendly, be cautious. If they approach you, then you can approach them. If you have a collar, put it around them and see if you can get them in the car. If they look scared or if they're injured, if you know of a group, call them or dial 311 for local services and have them come out and assist you. Usually if it's an emergency, they'll come out pretty quickly. Never corner a dog. You know, if you get them in a corner, don't approach them. That's when they're most likely to bite.
Never put your face near a dog
Don't
you
put,
don't
you know,
know.
even though she's...
Like me, right?
Yeah. Like,
No, but
even a puppy.
I know how to read a dog,
Right.
and so I will do that,
Yeah.
but it's very dangerous to put
Yes.
your face near a dog you
Yes,
don't know,
especially
especially a
when-
dog like Bear. You know?
A dog like Bear who doesn't have that experience and is friendly, but that just might freak him out. And
Well, in Oak Cliff, actually, a few weeks ago, I had my Blackie, which was a black dog that I had found in Oak Cliff, also on the surface road of I-35. But it was nighttime, and I had on a big coat. It was really cold, and they were very friendly. But they apparently had never been in a vehicle before. So I had to literally physically try to pick
Yeah.
them up, and we're talking like 70-plus pound dogs.
Well, you know, there's a good lesson in that from the film you did, Angel Dog,
Yes.
and getting a dog in a car that doesn't want to go in
It
the
was
car.
it was the same thing. But I literally turned my head and just thought,
Yeah.
like, please don't, just waiting for
it's tough. And
stop.
that's when we go out and catch dogs and we have them. That's one of the things we talk amongst the team is be careful. Do not get bit. I don't want to get bitten because it hurts.
Right.
But I don't want that dog to have to be euthanized for my carelessness. And sometimes it's crazy. You put one of these leashes around the dog and they really flip out. So knowing how to handle them and where to put your hands and not put your hands is really important. And if you don't know that, call somebody who does. Call the city, call the pound. That's better than trying. Don't get hurt.
What about if you get a stray dog and you take it into your home and the dog's in your home and it's doing well, but in the back of your mind you always know this could be somebody else's dog. This might not be a stray dog. Some child or might have their best friend out there, and now
Very true.
they're moving into your house. And I
getting
know, in Dallas, you're allowed to keep the dog in your home, but you have to notify
Right.
the right people that the dog is there so they can get it up on a website.
And we go through that for every dog. We actually go out and catch. They're scanned, microchipped, or I'm scanned for a microchip. If they don't have one, we ask around in the neighborhood, but sometimes we know this is a stray dog, or hey, this dog probably belongs to somebody. And we have found a dog that had a microchip, and we called the person. We called the microchip company, they called the person, and they didn't even know their dog was gone. And it turned out they didn't even want the dog back. So we were able to find them a home.
And the other thing is you never know when a dog's out, whether the dog has medical needs and has
Exactly.
a limited amount of hours to get the
Exactly.
medicine they need to stay alive. So you've got to be responsible about getting the information to somebody quickly who
Yes.
can take them down and having them scanned at a vet.
Yeah.
Calling one of the many organizations in Dallas that
Yes.
can help.
Exactly. And for those who have dogs, is keep ID tags on them. One of my dogs needs medications, and she has a little tag that says needs meds. Please call ASAP.
That's smart.
And she's also microchipped just in case her collar comes off. But the collar and the tags are really important.
Yeah, I have an epileptic little poodle, one of
Okay,
my
yeah.
dogs,
Yep.
and if she doesn't have medicine every 8 hours, she'll go into seizures. So.
Exactly.
See, which would be so scary. It'd be scary for someone to find a dog that actually needs medical attention like that and not know how to deal with that.
Yeah.
Well,
it's-
being a vet, you're very familiar.
I play a vet on TV, so I know. No, I'm joking. No. But no, how did you get into dogs? Have you always grown up with dogs?
I've grown up with, ever since I was a wee bit, I've had a dog. When I was born, we had 2 Dobermans, and then actually moved to Caribbean, and I had a couple of German Shepherds and a little Dachshund. and then I had a poodle, and then just kind of kept going from there. So, but the animal rescue has probably been about 12, 14 years. Last few years have been a little more going with the advent of social networking and getting the word out a lot faster.
And you're still doing dog training?
Yes, I do on a limited basis. I'll do dog training. I do some for the rescues, you know, for fosters and so forth. But lately, on private training, it's been a little more limited, just because of time. So, but
Well, you certainly look like you've done a great job with this one.
he came that way. He's a good boy. He's a big old baby.
Now, is there a more interesting story than Bear? Was Bear your biggest challenge as far as 4 months to get a dog?
Nora, you know, one of the things they said was, you know, how with these stories, how do you catch them? Mm-hmm. And I think one of the top things is have good people with you, have a good team, mm-hmm. and that's where that Team 6 comes in. We have a few of them here. Rekka, who adopted Nora, Rekka Melby, she's with a little group called Take Me Home Pet Rescue, which is where he's from.
Where is Rekka?
Little ears.
Where's my mama?
Look at those little ears.
Yvonne Ibarra, who's with DallasDogLife.com, she's also part of the team. It helps get the word out, you know, really critical. And where is she? Oh, there she is. Stacy Smith, I guess we can make her an honorable member. I'll call her and it's like, I just picked up this dog from Oak Cliff. I need a place to go, and she'll jump in. She's with Flower Mound Humane Society, who Bear's with. They stepped in and took them, and and Pat Rodriguez, who's not here, she's with Dallas Animal Advocates, and you know we'll send little mission emails out and play it up. You know, we'll say Semper Wolf instead of Semper Fi.
How funny.
All right, you want to go find somebody? Go
Semper
find somebody.
Wolf.
Go on.
Yeah, but that team's really important. So
If you had to sum it up, the Republic of Dogs,
Yeah.
the mission
I want
there.
to live there. The
Yes, the Republic of Dogs.
Can I get a passport?
Get a stamp, a little paw stamp. But what do you think your mission statement would be?
I don't know. I guess. Wow. I guess what everybody else is no more homeless dogs. You know, it's possible. We just have to come together as a society and be responsible. They're great companions. They're lots of fun. They give lots of love, and they just don't need to be homeless. So,
It's a terrible thing for us to let them give birth to then
Yeah.
just put them down.
Yeah. It's hard.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what kills me. That's my
Yeah.
that's my biggest pet peeve is telling
Yeah.
people you've got to spay and neuter your animals because there's no other option. They just
Yeah.
keep multiplying and multiplying, and they don't know.
Yeah.
You've got to be responsible for them.
Yeah. No, it's. I think I said one time. I said it takes the village, to save one dog. It takes multiple people, So all we do is catch them. Then after that, that's the hard part. This is little Leonard.
I love Leonard.
Hi,
What was
buddy.
the other one's name?
Sheldon.
Sheldon.
What great names.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you guys draw straws over who gets to name them?
Well, these guys were kind of, I can't remember how we named them, but with the Big Bang Theory, that
Oh, yeah.
little TV show.
Are these guys living in homes now?
They're in foster home with Rekka.
So are they available if somebody
they are
sees them on the
available for
show and
adoption.
wants them?
Yep.
And where would they call or where would they go?
They can go to TakeMeHomePetRescue.com or .org.
Okay. Well, good.
TakeMeHomePetRescue.org.
Yeah.
I'll remember that.
And they're both available for adoption. I still have their mom at home, and she may or may not miss them. I don't
Well,
know.
JP,
Let me bring the other one
yeah,
up.
bring the other one out. But we want to thank you so very, very much
Oh,
for being here
you
and
bet.
bringing these beautiful babies. And you can actually find out more about JP's mission by logging on to www.therepublicofdog.com, or you can go to www.positivelytexas.com. So we'll be right back.
Welcome back to the love of dogs. Dogs are my absolute passion, but I love all animals. And recently, Freya and I had an incredible opportunity to go be with the harp seals as they gave birth and to help end the seal hunt.
Yes, so we actually took a trip to the Harp Seal Nursery, which was, I will say, the most incredible experience I've had in my lifetime, truly.
Well, I was determined. I know it took you 12 hours to get there.
Yes.
It took me 22. That was the day of the tornadoes.
Yeah.
And as I looked down into a blowhole, I realized we were 100 miles out into the North Atlantic, beyond the northernmost and easternmost city in Canada, out in the middle of the Arctic ice floe. And you and I were standing on about 3 inches of ice.
Yeah, it was pretty thrilling. I'll say, you know, once the helicopter ride took about almost 2 hours to actually find a piece of ice stable enough to land on. And we could see from the helicopter these seals, and you could see the pups and the moms. But we found a nice piece of ice to land on and got out and precariously made our way to meet some of these sweet little babies.
And those babies that they were looking at in those photos were all of a few hours old to maximum of 2 days old.
Oh yeah, yeah. No, the one that one actually you're seeing right now, I named him Frederick, and I love him. And he's about 4 hours old. Rebecca had said between 4 and 5 hours.
But
so
we had to
that's why
take him out of your coat and put him back on the ice.
I know. Don't tell anyone that. Isn't that illegal? I'll be going to jail. I tell you what, I would have gone to jail for those little guys.
You know, it's a terrible thing to think about what's coming up, and the Canadians are still the fishermen. These are mammals. They're not fish, but the fishermen, starting the 26th, if there is ice, they'll be out there, and that's why we were there, to document the population and to help prevent that inevitable hunt, which there's no market for the pelts, so they've got to stop hunting. It's barbaric.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I always say I learn new things every day, but it was really, really unfortunate learning how the Canadian government subsidizes these hunts, and there's been so many bans, actually, that the HSUS has been able to get from other countries. And so they said you can get a seal belt for like $20. So these beautiful little creatures, you know, that's their value.
But it's illegal in most of the countries.
Yes, of course.
The United States outbanned it.
Oh, yes.
Banned it long ago. The EU banned it. Russia and China have banned seal pelts. So there is no market, and now they're trying to get a subsidy to stockpile these so that maybe someday they let, you know, the quotas are between 250 and 400,000 of these animals, and they are gray, but they're just having lost they're a few weeks old.
Well, and see, that's what's so incredibly horrible about it, is literally these seals, they might as well be a little puppy with no arms and no legs, and, you know, no, seriously, they just can't move, they can't do anything. And to say that they're an adult after 2 weeks of life, because that's when, like you mentioned, they start turning gray, it is absolutely horrific, because they need to be on ice for about 21 days before they can swim and actually survive in the water. And as you know, it's hard enough with global warming and the ice melting, you know, for them to have a good piece of ice to be on anyway.
The last 3 years, the pups actually, nature diminished the populations, which it does. It's the natural cycle. It's sad, but the ice melted too soon, and most of the pups drowned. So this year, we're praying that the ice melts just in time, like the 24th or 5th, gone, and that all the pups can swim and they get off and there is no hunt.
Right.
But right now they don't know whether the Canadian government will subsidize the hunt, and we're going to tell everybody. Next week, we're going to tell the whole story of the seal hunt, but mostly it's going to be the seal births and our trip.
Yes.
And so if you have friends and you're watching the show, tell them to tune in next week, Saturday at 7, to see our trip, to see the seals and some incredible video. It's just amazing to see Farah on the ice kissing seals.
Well, you should see Arthur. I actually have footage of him rolling. He's rolling to roll up to a seal, literally. And Rebecca, who was there hosting us, said she had never seen anybody roll to a seal before. It was pretty hysterical. but the seals looked really comfortable with it.
Well,
Very
I've always
accepting.
said I'd do anything to be near an animal. And,
Yeah, Arthur knows his seals. Actually, I think all animals love you, Arthur.
well, I love all animals, and this was especially touching because it was so far away, and we were in their domain, which only exists for a month out of the year. The winds freeze the ocean, and then it's thick enough to walk on. It's thick enough to land. 5 inches of ice will support a helicopter. So the helicopter lands, you go out into this Arctic, you're seeing white as far as you can see, and then all of a sudden you see ocean, and when the helicopter takes off, it's just an iceberg that's been moving while you were on it.
Oh, and it probably moved 5 miles while we were on it.
Thank goodness they had good GPS.
Thank goodness they had good GPS. But yeah, no, it was truly an amazing experience, and meeting these little creatures. I think you're really going to get some insight as the audience seeing this next week, because you're actually going to get to see some close-up footage of
It's
these.
going to be an amazing, amazing show, and today was a great show.
Yeah, today was a great show.
And I can't tell you how much I enjoyed doing this. This is, I flew in from where I was on the East Coast for another event. I flew in, and tomorrow I'm flying out to the West Coast, and it's just a pleasure to do the show. And next week's will be probably the most incredible show, because it was the most incredible day of both of our lives.
Yeah.
So I want to just really take a minute to thank everybody for joining us today, and to tell them to remember to visit us at www.americandogrescue.org. Follow the show. We have
Oh,
the past-
Facebook and Twitter and YouTube, and you need to go and like us on all of those and see what our future programming holds.
Right, and you can look at the past shows on that site. So it's www.americandogrescue.org. Get involved. We're going to tell you next week how to help prevent the hunt this year. And so please, when you see the show, act.